The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hello, everybody! I had to take an inhale. I had to inhale and get my life together. Today, on episode 131 of the Tokucast, we're doing something very adjacent to Toku as a whole with Tokusatsu Gagaga. But it's okay.
Based on a manga series.
Yes. Which I don't know if it ever got a proper conclusion. I haven't really looked into it. But the last time we got something was like in August of 2020. I'm not sure if it's 100% done. But Toei did the suits in this. So, still works.
I think it shows.
Yeah.
I did not know that, but I think it shows.
But yeah, Tokusatsu Gagaga. Let's just start what we usually do before we really get into the show, because I really want to talk about this show. The opening. It was very...
There really isn't one, because this show, first and foremost, this is a J-drama.
Yeah.
This is a full-on J-drama with Toku elements, for sure.
It's Kuga.
But, considerably shorter, but... Yeah. But, this is a J-drama, so there isn't really, like, a full-on theme song, but we do get that, we get that at the beginning of every episode, and they do play the full version sometimes as an insert song, which is kind of cool. What do you think of the song?
It's very Showa-esque. I approve of it. It's okay.
They do. I think they do a good job of representing both the Showa and the Heisei era of Toku.
Yeah.
In this, with the two respective hero teams and whatnot that they choose to have. So good stuff.
Yeah. The show proper.
But the show. Okay, so what the show is about is... gotta look it up because I want to get everyone's name. We have Kano Nakamura-san. She's an office lady.
Yes.
And she is a secret tokusatsu fangirl.
Yes.
She's I think they call it like a toku-ota.
Yeah.
In the
Toku otaku. Yeah.
Toku otaku, so toku-ota.
Yeah.
And she keeps it a secret. She doesn't want anyone to know because her mother frowned upon such things.
So she's very ashamed.
She's very ashamed of her hobby, but her apartment is completely decked out in Toku merch with action figures and T-shirts and posters, and she's always like huddled up in front of her TV watching the newest episode of Jushoan, which is this show's version of Super Sentai.
Yeah, it's in this show is that year's version of Super Sentai.
Is this year's version of Super Sentai, which is Jushoan.
Yeah, they talk about the next one at the very end.
And to start with, I want to say there is a surprising amount of care that went into creating the Toku portions of this show. Yeah. These suits, they're not great, but they're not bad. They look fine. Yeah. And not just theirs, but also because we also have our Showa hero, Ima Jason, who is like who's kind of like the Gavin.
Well, no, he's not the Showa hero because it was like the mid-90s. Because she was like 3 or 4 when the show came on.
Something like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But either way, he's like an older hero.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like a Gavin type character in terms of his look.
He's a robot.
Yeah, I think his look is really good too.
Yeah.
I if you were to like put that in a Metal Hero movie, I'd be like, yeah, that looks
it fits.
It fits. It tracks. But so our show, pretty much the whole show is we're following Nakamura as she goes through her day-to-day life, trying to keep her hobby a secret, trying to get her favorite capsule toys, trying to get her Happy Meal toys for her merch for the show she loves, while trying to make her way as an adult, but also making friends along the way. Yeah. And dealing with family drama along the way.
The Toku is the friends we made along the way.
It truly is the friends we make along the way, because the first episode is, we get introduced to her, she's on her commute to work, and she runs into one of her coworkers, and on the train, she sees a woman, and she has a little keychain on her bag, and it's of Toraiga, who is the blue of Jusho, who is the Jushoan Blue Ranger. And she's like, a friend who could possibly be into the same things I'm into, but I'm so embarrassed I can't talk to them, and and it's...
What is the way that I can show that I'm also interested without actively saying that I'm also interested?
And that's the first episode, is her trying to find a capsule toy of Shishileo, who was the Red Ranger, and just it's just the antics of her trying to find the capsule toy while trying to find that she's trying to get the capsule toy a secret. And at the end of the episode, the woman who we later are introduced to as Yoshida-san.
The best
who is wonderful.
Character.
Oh, you think she's the best, really?
One of them. Okay. I think pretty much everybody in the show is great. But I loved her so much because I was just like, oh no, she's me!
Is it because of the photos she has on her phone? Maybe.
A little bit. But also, I identified with two characters very much in this show.
Okay, and they
are? It was her and Ninkyosan.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh no, he's me!
But yeah, at the because she manages to get her capsule toy, and on the way she meets a little kid who she names Damien. Because he looks like Damien from The Omen, according to her, which that's kind of mean. It's hilarious because he's a nice kid.
He is great.
He's a really good actor. Yeah, they gave him great direction, and the kid's really talented.
He's very good. I was like, oh okay, I see him. He's very good. I was very excited with him.
His performance is very naturalistic.
Yeah.
It just he feels like a real kid.
He also feels
he can be a little annoying, but it's like in a way a normal kid would be annoying.
Honestly, I don't think he really ever came off as annoying because sometimes he seems smarter than Nakamura.
He does, but it's more so his like delivery, like the way kids will sometimes have like a whiny way that they talk.
He's also so deadpan sometimes.
He can be very deadpan, and I love that. But yeah, the kid is like a 10 out of 10. Really, really good actor, great character, and because the kid is also something of a secret Toku fan himself because he's going to cram school. His parents want him to focus on his studies, and they think Toku is a waste of time.
Yeah,
and Nakamura, her mom thought her mother thought Toku was a waste of time for different reasons, which we will get to. I'm not going to lie, Marcus. This episode might get a little personal.
Okay,
this episode's probably going to get a little personal for me.
Okay.
And we'll get to why later.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, we'll get to it. Ooh. We will get to it. Oh boy.
There is also Kitashiro.
Kitashiro-san, who is another one of Nakamura's co-workers.
Yes, who's very standoffish at the beginning of the show. Doesn't like interacting with anybody.
Yeah.
Because...
And I'm like, oh no, she's me.
In the past, she's like a big Idol fan. Just like a whole...
Yeah, so it turns out she's a closet idol otaku, or at least she was, because her hobby got exposed by her best friend.
Yeah.
And she kind of cut ties with her, and I loved her story so much.
Her story was great.
And like, you know, because her friend like exposed her as an idol fan, and that...
At like a work thing?
She was out getting like drinks and food with friends from work, and her friend said like, oh yeah, we're idol fans, and it's... Oh my God, that group that she follows, B-Boys, I think was the name of it. And the song that they sing,
so bad.
It reminded me of the rap battles from Way of the House Husband, where it's like, you're not rapping, you're just naming things.
That's pretty much exactly
all you're doing is naming things.
They were talking about the food in Nagoya.
They're talking about food in museums and isn't Nagoya great, and it's just like,
I'm just going to get a humidifier, bro. Let me just go.
Oh yeah. I'm just want a humidifier, dude. Can I go, please?
There's also Charahiko, who's another coworker of hers, who is awful.
Which ones?
It was him, not the one with the glasses. We'll talk about him.
Okay.
In a second. He was awful.
Yeah,
he's the one who's trying to get everybody to do everything, and they really
when they in the first episode, I love this because in the end of the first episode, she and Nakamura and a bunch of coworkers, they go out to karaoke, and he is very much pressuring her. Is it the second episode?
I believe the second episode.
Yes, I think you're right. But the way Nakamura imagines him or Jason showing up and the karaoke kaijin who comes in and is like, you will be exposed as a Toku Otao. And then him or Jason is like, pick my song, say it's because it reminded you of your childhood. Now pretend like you forgot these words because you haven't heard the song in so long. And I love that scene because like he's coaching her through it. And I love the magical realism of this show. Where we have the elements of like, because she sees visions in almost every episode of one of her Toku heroes giving her instructions or helping her or coaching her through something. In the second episode, where she and Nakamura and Yoshida are properly introduced, and they go to that hero show, and they're at the cafe afterwards. They're the because she's studying photography. Yoshida is, and she's like getting all these great shots of the hero show. And originally, she was like, that was going to be her farewell to Toku. Yeah, because she was also a closet fan,
but she was older.
But she's older than Nakamura is. She's in her early 30s, I think. Nakamura is 27,
24,
20. I think it was 27. Maybe Yoshida's 27.
No, Yoshida's in her 30s. Nakamura is 24. She explicitly says that.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's fairly young. I might be thinking of somebody else, but yeah, so they're in there, and she's looking through Yoshida's phone, and it's a lot of pictures of Torager, and then she gets to a certain point, and it's just a lot of pictures of Torager's ass. It's just a lot of pictures of the suit actor's butt, just like dead center.
This is a woman of quality. She is a lady.
And that scene got a big laugh out of me, and I thought it felt very authentic. And I thought it was very funny, and it made me like Yoshida-san even more. She's great.
Another co-worker there is Onada-kun, who has a crush on
Nakamura.
On Nakamura. I felt for him. I felt for him a couple of times. I was like, oh, bruh. Oh, no.
He's trying.
He tries so hard.
He tries to be, he's very much like a nice guy.
Yeah, he is the nice guy.
He is the nice guy. He's very, very meek, very, just like, oh, how are you? Just like very soft-spoken guy. But you can tell that he is crushing on Nakamura very hard.
Yeah.
It's apparent, immediate.
Like when the guy who comes in to fix the copier comes in, he's like gorgeous and everything. I love Nakamura.
And Nakamura kind of has a crush on Copy Guy because he reminds her of Shishileo.
Yeah.
Who is her one true love.
So good. So good.
Good stuff. But throughout the next several episodes, it's mainly that. She and Kitashiro, they eventually become friends, and Kitashiro winds up like covering for her at work at one point when she feels that she might be exposed.
I do want to talk about Ninkyo-san, Masaki.
Yeah, we have to talk about him. I loved him. Oh, I loved him because he runs like a toy store.
Yeah.
Or
he and his mom. Yeah.
Yeah, he and his mom. They run the store that sells like Toku merch and anime merch and all that candy, all that good stuff.
And he's basically a big fan of this version of
Precure. Yeah. Which I really liked, and because the first time we're introduced to him, Nakamura, it's the first episode, she's trying to buy that toy from the capsule machine outside his store, and she's like, he's scary, he looks like a Yakuza, and I think they cast such a good actor for this because it's not just because he's got like a good looking face. It's the hair, the way he dresses, and the way he talks and moves. He's got kind of like
he doesn't know people.
Yeah, he's got like kind of a swagger and like a bit of a 1,000-yard stare. Yeah. He looks like the kind of guy who should be going to the docks to meet Aniki for some business to take care of. Like, I mean, you've played all the Yakuza games. You've seen people like him before in said games many times.
Very accurate. He's the one who met Kiryu.
There you go.
But he's like very weak.
He's very weak. He loves cute things.
Not weak. He's very meek.
Meek, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. He's very meek. He's a little bit feminine. He basically like the stereotypical gay guy. Weirdly enough. And I was like, oh my God, stand the gay guy.
Okay. I gotta ask you this. Did you feel like the way this show was approaching keeping your hobbies and whatnot in the closet, for want of a better expression, did you feel like this could be a metaphor for homosexuality?
I mean, a lot of things could be. I think it's just really apparent with him specifically.
With him, yeah.
Just because, sort of the way that he acts. Mm-hmm. And, it's not offensive or anything. I'll definitely say that it's definitely not offensive. It's just for him, it felt a little bit more stereotypical, but it also felt like, he loved himself enough to go out, basically with all his female friends and everything. And
it didn't feel weird. He felt like he belonged there.
Yeah, he felt really like a part of the thing. He couldn't be in every scene that they were, specifically because he has a shop to run.
Yeah, he's got a job. He's got a business to run.
But I really just appreciated everything they did with that character, and especially his backstory.
Good stuff. As to get a little personal here, I can kind of relate. I remember being in elementary school, and you remember Lisa Frank.
Yeah.
You remember Lisa Frank, specifically school supplies.
Yeah.
Like, just Google it if you're not familiar. It was huge in the 90s. I don't know if it's as big today or if it's... Dolphins and puppies and kittens, and it's very bright, very colorful. And I remember, little 5-year-old Jacob thinking it was pretty cute. And I wanted one. That's not for boys.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
Oh, brother. We haven't talked about the mom yet.
Oh, no. We'll get there.
And the brother, who I was a little bit upset they didn't introduce earlier.
Yeah, I
liked the brother.
I liked him too, but I was okay with them keeping him where he was. But
he has a family.
But Ninkyo also has a great moment when they all go out for karaoke, and because he's getting ready to sing the I forget the name what it's called, but the Prank Year song.
Yeah.
This version of Prank Year, and there's no one to sing it with him, and then the manager of the karaoke shop comes in.
Yeah, like deliver their food or something.
I think they ordered some food or drinks, and he's in there, and he's standing up there at the monitor, and he's doing like a heart, and he's like, yay, I love this song too. And then the manager joins in.
Well, he loves the anime.
He loves the show, but it's like Ninkyo-san found someone he found a friend, and it was so sweet, and I loved it.
There's also that moment where it's just like him as a kid, and the mom comes in.
Yeah.
And they're walking, I think it's Lover-chan or something. And
sounds about right.
Yeah, he was really not happy at school because he was a big kid. Everybody expected a lot more of him.
Yeah, I can relate.
There's a scene like while they're watching it, him and the mom's like about to leave, and she turns around and just like, just because I'm a crybaby doesn't mean that I'm weak. It doesn't mean that I can't stand up for myself. And I'm just like, the emotions. Quality.
Good stuff. Yeah, so good. Really, really good. So then we meet her mom for the first time.
Oh,
and
God.
She's
terrified.
She's the worst.
Yeah.
Nakamura
has a lot of trauma dealing with her mother.
Yes. And it's in a way that I felt I could relate to.
I'm just
wow. Ooh. This hit a little close to home.
It was. Her mom would take the Toku toys away.
Taking the Toku toys away.
Burn the magazines.
Oh, the part where they burned the magazines was just like, whoa.
You did that to your child. And the mom is just like, the mom has generational trauma. Hello, Encanto. The mom was a single mother to 2 children. And she was raised with, this is the idea of this is what girls do. Yeah. Girls like this kind of stuff. They play with these kinds of toys. They wear these kinds of clothes. She takes her out clothes shopping, and in the present, not in the flashback, but she takes her out clothes shopping, and it's a lot of Nakamura likes to wear cooler colors. She likes to wear blues, navies, and
blues, grays, cooler colors, darker colors. She likes her fashion clean and simple. Her mom likes cute colors. She likes pink. She likes lace. She likes
roses. Things
that are frilly, things that are flowery, things that are, you would say, stereotypically cute for girls, if you will.
Yeah.
And she's just so afraid to speak up.
Yeah.
And she's so scared of that conflict. And oh my God, this kind of hurt to watch. Because I've been there before. Many times. But the part that really got to me was the part where her mom straight up gaslights her.
Oh,
in the store. I don't.
Oh God!
I don't know that her
fake tears.
I don't. Here's the thing. It's were they fake or were they real?
Oh no, they were fake as hell.
I absolutely would believe they were fake, but to the mom, I feel like she believes they were real, even if they were fake.
Because
if that makes sense.
So quickly.
It's such a little thing because she's Nakamura finally gets the courage to speak up and be like, look, I just don't really want these clothes.
They're not really my style.
They're not for me. And she barely gets a sentence out, looks over at her mom, and she is just on the verge of sobbing. Just her face is all twisted, and then I thought you wanted those goes and she starts crying.
She manipulated both Nakamura, the mom did, and the store.
Poor sales lady.
The sales lady just
poor sales lady was just standing there like, I don't care what is in the trapdoor that opens beneath me right now.
I just want to get out of this situation.
Get me out of this situation.
Ooh, that happens more than once in this show.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the episode yet.
We'll get to the episode. Ooh. But
I love this show.
I think I know exactly the moment you're talking about too.
I love this show.
But and she's like, no, okay, it's fine, I'll take the clothes. And just having been told that, you shouldn't play that game because it's for kids. Don't watch that movie because it's for kids. It's, I remember specifically, story time, kids. I remember specifically when Resident Evil 0 came out for the GameCube.
Oh,
I wanted to get it. And certain parental figures were like, wait, you play as a girl? Was what they said. And that's one of the and that was what set them off. Not it's rated M, you play as a girl. Super Mario Sunshine, yeah, that's for kids. You sure you want that? And I'm like,
that game is hard as dicks.
It's harder than Resident Evil 0.
It is. I never played any of the Resident Evil, so I can't say anything on that.
I can't confirm. But that just the notion of being told, regardless of what your hobby is, the notion of being told you can't have that because it's not for you is bullshit. And I hate it so much.
The scene in
and I found it very upsetting.
The scene in the fast food place with the little girl who
she wants a little Shishileo figure because she thought it looked cool, and her mom is like, no, you get the Precure. That's cute. It's for girls.
You'll be the weird one out if you end up getting this and all the other girls have this.
You will be. Yeah, it's like, oh no, like try to make them feel bad for wanting something that they like, and that's so upsetting.
But I love Nakamura seeing so much of herself in this little girl, and giving her the toy
that she finally got. Because originally she goes there in like first or second episode, and she orders the Dundun set as it's called, but she in a panic orders the girl's toy, for like the Precure toy, and she's like, dang it, but she winds up giving it to Ninkyosan, and he's very happy with it, so that's good.
So she ends up going back there later, builds up the courage to get the Shishileo one.
Gets it, and then gives it to the little girl before she leaves. And it's a very sweet moment.
It's so good. The growth that Nakamura ends up going throughout this show really builds up a lot of her confidence. Being able to actually speak out and speak up to people and make friends. And I loved her.
We'll get to it. It's problems I have with the ending, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, and I think that could be because they had to make an ending for the show because the manga wasn't done yet.
To me, that just if you don't know how to end, that just speaks of a lack of creativity. At least in my opinion, it does. But do we want to move to because then we have the beach episode.
I love the beach episode
because that's episode 5. I think is the beach episode.
Yeah.
Before the episode.
Yes. Episode 5 is so much fun.
Episode 5 is just such a fun little adventure story.
It's Nakamura, Yoshida, Kichishiro, and Kichishiro's friend who originally she had a falling out with. And
I'm glad they made up.
Yeah, then it was so nice. Made up and did like the whole...
They go
in the karaoke bar.
In the karaoke.
Amazingly awful, and I loved it.
It was awful, but it was so perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not good singing, but it's like perfect karaoke.
It's the energy. And
it's the energy and the fact that everyone was into it and everyone was playing along. The actors have great chemistry, and they're all very good actors.
They're just amazing.
And so they go to the beach because Yoshida-san wants to shoot some scenes with her action figures, and they do that by...
Well, it was originally like, we want to go do this thing because the B-Boys...
Right, B-Boys are going to be doing a show there.
Well, no, because they did like this whole photo shoot out on the beach. None of it makes sense. What if we did something that makes sense for them? Mm-hmm. And so that's what they come back and end up doing. They do like this whole thing, it rains right before they get there. Then they had to go inside and meet this old man and his granddaughter.
Yeah. But it's a great episode, though.
It's just more just like, not for girls, because Japan used to have this thing where it was just like the black backpacks for the boys.
Yeah, that's touched upon in that episode.
And then later on, they started introducing more colors. And then Nakamura, as a kid, wanted to get the black.
She wanted a black backpack,
but the mother basically gaslit her into getting the red one.
And she's like, no, this is for you. And
I was like, you could have picked lavender.
I love how at the end we see that Nakamura, they took a quote unquote sexy picture of her on the beach. But it looks so awkward
because she's awkward.
She's doing like, like a classic like grab your idol pose of like, lying on your stomach in the sand, waves behind you. But it's her, so it just looks really silly.
Also,
and she's completely clothed, so it's like she's just covered in sand.
I'm just like, oh god, you're gonna be feeling that everywhere for like the next 2 weeks. It's like glitter but worse.
Clean thoroughly.
Glitter
Coarse,
but more
rough,
coarse.
it's irritating, and it gets everywhere. But then episode 6 happened.
God damn it. This was the episode.
You texted me at one point, yesterday, you texted me this, and we're like, the run I did around my house. And I could picture, it's like, I thought of the episode, I'm like, I can see the moment, I can see the scene, I can see you, I can see the trail of footprints you left around the room, up the walls, over the ceiling. Upstairs because of what happened. But... So, it's New Year's.
Now, the last time that Nakamura's mother came in, she got her spare key. And
by essentially bullying her into giving it to her.
And Nakamura was planning on changing the locks, but that cost a lot of money, so she never had the chance to do it.
Yep.
And then she was just like, her brother calls her, telling her that the mom's coming into town.
Yeah, it's New Year's, so the brother, his wife, and his kid, they've gone to visit their mom for New Year's, so he has a little bit of a heads up of where she's headed. And so the brother comes up with a on his part pretty clever plan to get her away from the apartment. So it's like, so meet her halfway at the station, then take her out to this restaurant, then go to this art museum or whatever,
and then mention this thing so you can come back home and see us again.
Yeah. And then say like, oh, how's Anchan doing? I haven't seen him in a while. So then you can just come back home.
I'm worried about him. Let's go see him.
Hey, bingo bango, you don't have to worry about a thing.
But before this, Nakamura is actually trying to hastily pack up her entire Toku collection, pretty much, stuff into just a variety of boxes. Mm-hmm. And you don't notice it, that I had to go back and look at the scene, but a certain figure is missing in that shot.
We find out why, because so she meets her mom, and they go to this really nice restaurant. It's really nice, like traditional Japanese restaurant.
Hot pot.
Mm-hmm. And so they make their order, and they're sitting there, and they're talking, and then her
mother gives her a present.
She gives her a present, but then something comes up in conversation. It's Nakamura's clothes.
Yeah.
And her mom says, "Oh, the clothes it's like your clothes are so plain," and that's the trigger when she realizes, wait a minute. Whenever I see you, I only wear the stuff you buy me.
Yeah.
So how do you know that? And then her mom pulls out a Shishileo action figure. One that is, it's a pretty big one too. Yeah. So that one might have been, one of the more expensive ones.
And starts talking about, all these people that she's met, all these people who aren't married. That's the big thing.
This is when she's like, she finally is starting to get the confidence.
Yeah.
Where she's like some of the stuff that I've been saying earlier, like who says that I have to be a certain way to like a certain thing, and who says this and this, and I've made friends, and some of them are older than me, and they, like Yoshida-san has a boyfriend, and da-da-da-da. Like, everything is, it seems like she's like finally building that confidence, and then her mom, when she's explaining this, reaches over that table and just slaps her across the face. Just slaps her, yells at her, and tells her to grow up. And is like,
then she takes the
she says something before this, but she says something like, this stuff is like useless, and it's basically just like insulting her hobby in a very mean way, and snaps one of the arms off. And it looks like the arm, I don't know if the arms were articulate. It might have been like a full-on statue.
No, it's like a full thing. So it's more of a statue.
More of a statue. So it might have been, definitely was probably more expensive.
And then she gets a flashback of her mom burning the
stuff, taking away the pin, and
yeah.
And then, do you want to say it, or do you want me?
The amount of screaming that I did during this scene because she snapped the arm, Nakamura snapped and slapped the taste out her mouth, and I lived. I was living. The amount of living that I did during this scene, I was not ready. I was not prepared. I paused it. I got up, ran upstairs. I got in my cardio yesterday. Got my steps in because I was not ready. She slapped her mother back. Yeah. And tells her, how much did you pay for college? How much did you pay for me growing up? I will pay everything back for you because you are no longer my mother and I want nothing to do with her. And I took a screenshot of this picture and I was like, tag yourself. I'm everybody in the background. I'm everybody in the background because they looked at her and looked away and then the waitress comes in, sees
oh my God, the waitress was what I was talking about earlier. The waitress comes in, sees them arguing and just like, slowly turns around and walks back into the kitchen. It was amazing. But, I mean, you glossed over. After she slaps her mom, what does she call her? You stupid old bitch.
Oh, I lived.
You stupid old bitch. And like Marcus just said, how you are not my mother. Because she's like, how dare you hit your mother? And she's like, you are not my mother. How much did it cost to raise me? How much did it cost to send me to college? I don't care how long it takes. I will pay you back. And after that, we're done. And she storms out of there.
The mom does.
And she storms out. She's in tears. And her mom gets like really depressed after this.
Yeah.
But even then, when she's like still like, because she texts her son, Nakamura's brother, and is like, I always force you to come over for New Year's. You don't have to anymore. And Nakamura is like, typical mom. That is exactly something she would do. And
at least Nakamura actually went out because she spends a lot more time with Kishiro right now because Yoshida is actually enrolled back in school for photography.
She's in a photography school, yeah.
So she isn't talking to Kitashiro.
Episode 7 for me didn't stick the landing. There are some things I think it does right, but overall, I don't think it was that. Because in episode 6, she meets up with Yoshida, and that's when she finds out Yoshida has a boyfriend. And
when they go to see the movie.
Yeah. With, Damien's there, and I think Kitashiro was there with her too.
Because she already bought 2 tickets.
Yeah.
But then we find out that Yoshida's there with her boyfriend.
To see something else, I think.
Yeah. And then she
and they have a very awkward exchange.
Yeah.
And then we get to episode 7, and Kitashiro has arranged a meeting with Nakamura and Yoshida at a cafe. You guys haven't been talking. I know you haven't been talking. Yoshida's worried. You need to bury the hatchet. And they mentioned, you haven't answered any of my calls or texts. And it was like, well, we never saw her get any of them. So I felt like there was a disconnect there for that.
We saw her get one, but we didn't see her get any more.
Yeah, and to me that was a bit of a disconnect. But then Yoshida gives her reasoning. It's like, well, it wasn't that I was worried
or embarrassed her.
I wasn't embarrassed that you knew I had a boyfriend. It's like,
I just don't like kids.
I just really hate kids. And Damien was with you, and the instant he started talking to me, I froze up and ran away.
I love that.
And the reason I haven't been able to hang out with you is because I'm back in school. So it's like they clear that little misunderstanding up, and that's fine.
I thought that was great. That was funny as hell.
And that's fine.
I don't like kids. Well,
fair enough.
She's me.
And then we have a little, because we have 2 scenes with Damien in this episode where his parents don't want him to go see the Jushuan movie.
So his grandma takes him.
So his grandma is going to take him, but then his parents find out that his grandma's going to take him.
He went. That's why they were at the movies.
Oh, right. But yeah. But the parents find out and they get upset. So it's like, Nakamura, I want you to have a argument with my parents about why I should see the movie.
Because adults can do these things.
It's like, well, you need a kaiju. I love his logic. It's like, well, I'm thinking, you need a kaiju to fight a kaiju, so you need an adult to fight another adult. And you're an adult, Nakamura, so you're going to fight my parents.
I approve.
It's like, that's kind of adorable, but also kind of messed up.
It is.
And then Nakamura turns him down. He calls her a liar, runs away, but then they make up later. in a way that is a callback to their first meeting.
You shouldn't give candy.
You should, because originally it's the capsule toy.
Yeah,
and she offers it to him. And he's like, you shouldn't give things to other people's kids. You shouldn't give things to kids if you're
weird.
You shouldn't. It's like strangers should not give things to kids, lady.
You're weird.
Safety 101.
Stop being weird.
And then they do a little callback to the you shouldn't give candy to other people's kids, and it's a sweet little callback, and we get the impression that their relationship will be rebuilt after their falling out. But then there's the scene with the mom. So she decides to try and build things up again with her mom, try and rebuild the bridge. And she realizes she passes by a toy store that she used to frequent when she was a kid, and she remembers her mom tried to buy her like a toy, it was like a dog or something,
one of those little robot,
little animatronic robot dog, cute little toy, and she didn't want it, and her mom felt bad, and she was like, and her revelation of like, oh, that's right, my mom knows what it's like not to have someone likes things that she likes. And to me, that felt kind of backpedaling in terms of like, okay, but her mom was still a garbage person in the way she went about it.
Oh, yes, she was.
And I don't think that excuses it. But like when she goes to her house, and it's like a very silent, awkward exchange for a while until she gifts her a toy. I think it's a rabbit, like a stuffed animal.
A little pink one.
Yeah, a little stuffed animal. And her mom smiles, and it's like they start to make up, and that's nice. But then the final scene happens.
And the one in the office?
No, the one in the bookstore.
Oh, the one with Hiroshi Miyuchi.
Oh, did he play the cashier?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the guy who portrayed Shishilero for like one or two scenes in the show was the other cashier.
Oh.
Yeah. But that was Hiroshi Miyuchi.
Oh, cool cameo, but...
Doing it for my nephew.
Again, that felt like backpedaling, and it felt like going against everything that we've been building up to. I was not a fan, because she
agree.
Because she has the magazines similar to the one she had when we were a kid. It's like the Bible for all the toys and whatnot that are coming out.
Terebi-kun, pretty much.
Yes, which we have a couple issues over here, and she's like, oh, but I'm still so embarrassed to buy this. Oh, what do I do? I want to buy it, but I'm so embarrassed. In a show that's whole message has been like what you like.
Which was the name of the last episode.
Especially since that's the name of the last episode. I feel like a much more powerful ending would have been her just going up and just buying it without making any excuses. What they did, like, I understand why they did, but I think it was a dumb choice, and I don't think it worked for the story. I
do. If only because of the fact that we've sort of shown her having, she still has confidence issues. She's not going to get there immediately. Yeah. So I feel like at the end, it's just like her sort of getting there, because that the Hiroshi Miyuchi, I'm just going to call him that, doesn't buy it.
That's his name. It's his day job.
Yeah. He doesn't buy it. So it's still for her, and I think she knew that he knew. Mm-hmm. But she, still
because
stood tall.
Because she says, like, I'm buying this as a present, and then in her head she says, for myself.
Yeah, because she never says...
Which, I mean, good for you. Treat yourself.
She never says for her nephew.
Yes.
She says, I'm just buying this as a gift. Mm. And you know what? I get that. So she's not fully there, but we can definitely see that she's definitely getting there. She's no Yoshida-san, who always has something in her purse. An entire series collection on DVD. Mm-hmm. A whole exceedingly large Nikon camera. Mm-hmm. A VCR.
Which, that took me back. When her brother comes by her apartment in episode 7, gives her that old Emmer Jason tape with like the last 4 episodes on it.
Yeah.
And she remembers back to when she walked by that old video store when she was in high school. They had some old rental tapes that were on sale for 100 yen a piece. Dude, I kid you not. When the Hollywood Video, for anyone who remembers that store, when the Hollywood Video that was near my house closed down, everything, in the store was on sale.
Yeah.
I specifically remember I bought the last Power Rangers tape that they had.
Yeah.
I bought that Power Rangers tape. I went home. I put that thing in my VCR, and I was immediately stricken with nostalgia, and I was also saying to myself, wow, this is a terrible episode. It was a god-awful episode.
I did love, like, the flashes between her in high school to her, 7 or so years later.
I love the scenes with the video store owner.
Yeah.
I love the scenes with him. Just, I was kind of like, he's me. He's the older guy who loves...
You gotta say it correctly.
He's me! I said the thing. Are you happy?
Yes.
Good. But, just, someone who has loved movies all their life. On that level, I can absolutely relate. Someone who, running a video store and just, like, giving the gift of movies to everyone who comes through your door.
Yeah.
The dream. But, just like, I love the conversation that she has with him. Yeah. I think they got a really good actor to play him too. And just good stuff. I feel like the final episode didn't have the dramatic weight that...
I can definitely agree.
I felt like it didn't have the dramatic weight that episode 6 did. The follow-through wasn't there for me. But overall, I think this is a very good show. Episode
6 was the tension. Episode 7 was sort of the release.
6 is where it peaked for me.
Yes. Oh god, it was just so good.
But especially the ending of episode 6, just like wow, they went there. Okay. But yeah, I think that'll do it for the story.
Yeah.
Do we want to go into the characters at all, or have we touched on that enough?
Yeah. Everybody, especially every actor, really played.
The actors are really good in the show.
They are superb. I really liked everybody. Even the kid, which is saying something to us.
Yes.
There's so much emotion and so much respect that they really put in for this show. And I really love like how far they were willing to go for it.
I don't know if you noticed this, but one little detail I liked is they used different frame rates for the Toku portions and for
they did.
Because it was a little jarring, but it's like your standard like 24 frames for the Toku scene in the beginning that she's watching because she's watching Jusho, and then it cuts to her in her apartment and it's like 30 frames. It's a faster frame rate. It looks more soap opera-y, I guess you could say.
And then when you go back and they do some of the emergence scenes,
again, like older. There is a lot. One of the things I loved about this is there is clearly a respect on display for Toku as a genre, as a medium in this, with the amount of care they put into designing the suits, into the action scenes that take place in the Toku, because they're not bad. They're not, they're not amazing, but like there's definitely some effort that was put into them, and the use of, like her like seeing the Toku characters in the real world. And at the end, when her final scene with Damien, where she looks over and she sees Shishileo, and then Damien looks over and sees him too.
Shishileo and Tarager and Cheetah. They don't really spend any time with her. They spend time on Celaton, who is Silver, who comes in later. That's the whole thing with Kitashiro.
Yeah.
Shishileo, Tarager, and Cheetah is just
the cheetah's just kind of there.
Yeah. She gets nothing.
Chitara.
She gets 0. This show is quite good.
But the show is good.
Yes.
I would definitely recommend this one.
Same. I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect myself to enjoy it as much as I did. Next time. Ooh. We got several options for the next one, but I think we should do another shorter show.
Okay.
We're going to do Shogeki Goraigan, which is in a New Wave Pin show, and also the actor who played Guy from Jetman's in it. It's a little bit more adult. So,
Shogeki Goraigan.
Yes.
And is this an older one, I take it?
It came out when we were in college. Yeah. So we'll be watching that
I missed this one.
We'll be watching that next.
Okay,
Don't forget to join us all the things, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.